guys, I'm just taking a break while the boys are now trashing the living room. I had to cross the threshold. I had to take the buggy out into the hallway, but lucky I did have people come up and they just closed the door and walked away. So I did take the buggy out into the hallway in the end. But as you can see, I'll take you through. I haven't managed to do the kitchen yet. I still haven't managed to do the kitchen yet, and I haven't finished the living room yet because the boys are still listening, finishing their dinner. Do you want me to put that back on? So for those of you out there that like to post that my children are raised on,
Welcome back to Brain
yeah,
Candy TV.
you want the brain candy back on? Yeah, this one on. Which one do you want on?
Welcome back to Crash Course Stadium.
You want this one on? Hang on, I'll go back to the beginning. I'll put the playlist on so you can playlist while you finish. Right, which one?
No!
You want the one that you just had?
No!
Do you want the science one on? So basically, this is
Space one.
space one. This one?
No, the space
You want the space one on, yeah? Yeah? Okay, so this is a science
Hey,
edition.
Brainiacs. Do you know the names of all the planets in our solar system?
Do you want to do this
There are 8
one?
planets in our solar system.
Yeah?
All of the planets orbit around the sun.
So basically, my 3-year-old and my 2-year-old
Join Lizzie on the planet.
are, yes, on YouTube, but they are not watching Teletubbies, and they're not watching Tinky Winky and all of that sort of stuff. They're actually watching science. So basically, this is the line that crosses from my home to the stuff that's got to go downstairs. So it's not in the hallway as I would usually do at the weekend, and I was going to brave it during the week when main security weren't here at the weekend and we just had normal standard council here, and who knows, maybe they would have given me a hand. But the problem is I now can't find the key to one of the storage units, and I can't get into the other one because Dean gets in with the crowbars because it's 90 quid to replace the locks, and it's not actually even our fault that the key has completely snapped out. I can even actually show you what has actually happened to this storage key if I can find my little... Seriously, this I can't actually cope with this. It drives me nuts. So this is my little thing of keys, and this is the one to the storage unit. So basically it has come off. This is the key that is causing me all of the problems that make this not as easy as it should be, and also the fact that I have to cross over into threshold, and as I've said, then brings in the policy makers and the decision makers, and then they do what's called a section 47 and access all of my paperwork and make a decision about whether they need to safeguard my children or even me. So basically, it's now dry, so this can actually come down, but I want to use it at the moment to just section this off from the boys, because everything beyond here is not stuff that I want pulled out. It's not stuff that I want unbagged. It's not stuff that I want them to re-get toys out. Any mother out there knows that when you go through a said child's bedroom and empty all of their toys, they usually get them out. So anyway, I've actually put the hamster's cage this side as well now, because there is not a hamster coming into this house just yet. And also I have broken one of the panels here, which means that it needs some new plastic on, so it's got to go downstairs. But is it something that's coming to the new house with me when we do get a garden or a place for it? I don't know yet, or I could put it up for sale. The washing and drying is still behind here, and I'm now starting to accumulate. But however, I've set a trap up for the social worker deliberately. So, hang on, I've got to squeeze through here. As I've said, I have no hallway on this one light because I've set this up deliberately for the social worker, but also not deliberately. But because when I think we've got a male coming, I don't know, it's a new one, it's a new step, new stage, so you get transferred over to a different social worker. I can't risk this door shutting on me at the moment while the boys are sitting in there. But this is where now I would go and get the bin bags, and while the boys are calmly sitting in eating their food, obviously they could choke, I'm here, I'm not watching them, I would hear them go and I would have to run through here. I would get through there. So you could say that mother is currently neglecting children. Now, when I'm over at the park out there, yeah, every mother is allowed to go for a fag outside. Every mother is allowed to step outside the park, apart from me, because I have children under 6. So here is the line, guys. In fact, actually, the funny thing about it is I've got red and green in front of me. This is the Lord obviously doing this, not me, as you always know. So anyway, look at this. So basically, this side here is my personal property. I rent this space. I have a contract. It is my private space. This side here is public property, and it crosses over into a public zone and is then policied by the policy makers that govern this zone here. If anybody actually understands, you might actually see that my arms are actually doing something that not many people would know. So this area here is where the problem lies. And my arm still wants to carry on. So this here, the point between fear and faith exists between here, where you cross from a private life to a public life. Private life, public life. And here, within the courts and the family courts and social care and police and all of the things that exist, is what's called the threshold to what crosses over to criminal, to statute law, and what is just basically personal responsibility and accountability, where the said top, middle and bottom are meant to structure a hierarchy. Anything that is hierarchy comes from Satan, because the Lord doesn't structure hierarchy. We all self-govern. The courts is a court of Moses. You want to get out? And here lays somebody who now wants to get out of their chair. So mummy now has to get past buggy, the bikes, the skateboard, and what I consider the outdoor toys, because they are not going in the boys' bedroom because it just clutters it up. So I've hoovered to this point, and now we end into the zone that I left deliberately.
I can't get out.
You can't get out. How do you get out from here?
Something I can't get out of here. Can I get out, please?
Can you get out? How do you get out? Can you get yourself out?
No. Press this. Press this button.
I have to press the button. Okay. But you can get out though, can't you? You're not trapped.
I are.
You are trapped. Okay, well, I'll help you out then. There you go. You're free. You're free. And he's actually just got himself out. He's just literally jumped out from there and just got himself out. The thing is, though, he is actually trapped in officially because I've put a lock. Well, I haven't put a lock on. Actually, Amber brought these. This has actually come all the way over from Trinidad. This was actually in the nursery at Trinidad. I can turn... Oh, shit, I've left the front door open. Fuck's sake, now I'm going to have to get the kids back in again. Oh, no, they've gone back out. Seriously, have I got to start again? Or are you going to give me space to now do the living room? No, you're not actually dressed for outdoors. Now, if you're in the garden, it's not really a problem. But again, we're now in public, aren't we? So, mother in private... I'm going to do this very, very quickly because I don't believe that any child should be online inappropriate. And he's got a nappy on, so he's covered. Have you both finished your lunch? I didn't actually look. Yes. Okay, so Elijah's appropriately dressed and Shiloh is being Shiloh. However, they are not in the private home, and this is not our garden. They're in a public space. And the reason that I'm doing this is because, as I'm saying, this is coming from the perspective of a social worker. It's coming from the perspective of a council worker. It's coming from the perspective of a health visitor. It's coming from the perspective as a police officer. It's coming from the perspective... Let me go and show you how close they are. Let's go down my prison room. Walk in the mall, don't raise your voice too loud. So, that there, all this glass here, and all of that there, running across there,
What?
is basically the council office. So basically everybody, there you go, so we've got council workers around. There you go, thank you for the lovely noise in our home right now. Yay! It's just a child banging a skateboard. Obviously, even to have your cars out here in Portsmouth, you have to pay for a perfect car permit. Now, should I tell my son that he can't play? Actually, yeah, it's on the window ledge. Put it on the floor. No, even I said, but he actually wants to jump off here. This is the problem. He wants to climb off here and jump. Right, this is not a thing. Off the window ledge, on the floor. No, on the floor. No, because that's banging all the way through the building. I've said on the floor and you'll do it on the floor. No, if you put it back up here, then I go and take it back in the house. Excuse me. If you put it back up here, I'm going to take it in the house. Do you understand? Daddy says we're going to the skateboard park tomorrow, so you can take the skateboard parks. Right, thank you. And it's still banging. You just hurt your toe, you need your shoes on. Yeah, you need your shoes on. Yeah, you chose this path, mate, so either go and get your shoes on, or don't do it out here. Do you want your shoes on?
Yeah.
Right, shoes on. Get your skateboard, bring your skateboard in, because it's not home. Bring your skateboard in. The council will take, if your skateboard gets left back, no, are you going to stay with your skateboard then? If you leave your skateboard, the council will take it as being classed as abandoned. I will go and get your shoes. So, my basic thing is, if you want somebody to do something, be it a mum to a child, social worker to an adult, or social worker wants an adult to do it for a child, then there is a line, and that line is, how do you enforce somebody to make a change they don't particularly feel is a change that, what am I coming in for, shoes, that they do not feel is adequate to make, because it's a hard one. He can have his full-blown hard boots on. Oh, here we go. Oh, do you want me to carry it over for you?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. You go under your bike and I'll go through. Joys of being an EDS mother doing this, so I've just twisted my back. Right, as you're out here as well, do you want to put some jeans on with these?
Stop.
Oh no, I've just put them in the bloody wash. Any tracky bottoms I've just put in the wash. Right, there's your boots. It's not killing anybody, is it? Is it really, really hurting? No. Unless somebody announced to me that there's a paedophile living on my floor. And the fact this one here is a Roberts Centre. And it basically means that people come from the streets, come from homes of any sort of fault, are in rehabilitation. They can probably even hear it. I'm probably even pissing everybody off out here, to the point that I'm in an environment that over music and noise that people will actually violently bully people to turn music down or not do something in the area that they live in, and people use intimidation and gaslighting tactics and positive reinforcement like I just did then. You just watch me do it. If you put your skateboard up on the window, then I'm going to take it off you and put it in the house. So I've just set a rule based on, wow, now you just hit your arm. That's why you need all your pads on and stuff on. Wow. He's got a nappy on, I really want to show you. So you're going to have to, I'll do it tomorrow when you're at the park, yeah? You want your hat on? Okay. He knows his own boundaries. He's telling me that he wants his shoes on to protect his feet. He's telling me that he wants his hat on to protect his head. And he's telling me in a minute, and I guarantee you, he will come in and he will ask for all of his skateboarding pads, and he will choose which ones he wants to put on. He'll probably leave his legs, and if the board is flipping up into his arms, then he'll probably want to put his arms ones on, or he might decide to put his knees on. Children are absolutely amazing. But as you heard Elijah, on his live the other day, he knows he doesn't like Graham. I know that I have safeguarded with Graham. There's only certain points that Graham's allowed around my children. 2 seconds, we'll just put Shiloh's helmet on. So, I didn't safeguard him. He safeguarded himself. As a mother, I believe that if we bully our children to be what we want them to be, if we take away the things that our children love to control them, then when they get to 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, they rebel. And they rebel and go and find themselves. During that time of discovery, they make mistakes that they should be making when they're at home with us, as it is. So I've allowed for Shiloh to come out here in nothing but a nappy with his skateboard. It's his new skateboard, by the way. It's actually a bit heavier. And because it's actually his height, the bigger one, he was hitting the front of his mouth, and I'm getting him gum shield. Get off her door, please. You get off her door. No. I won't tell you again. You do not touch people's private doors. It is bad enough that we're out here making noise. You do not touch that lady's door. No. You do, no, because it will make. She knows you're out here playing. She's already checked. But if you actually knock, she'll have to get up and she'll come and answer the door. Excuse me. And you will not be part of the kids that run around knocking on doors either, because some of these people in the homes, it takes a long time for them to get up. Okay, and they don't want to get up just because you're knocking on the door, and they have to take time to come and answer this door because you've knocked on the door. Right, she knows you play. No, you don't knock on any of the doors. No, you don't knock on any of the doors unless you have to. No, so you don't mess around. No, because she doesn't know whether to get up now, whether it's somebody at the door, or she's missed the parcel, or she's panicking, and probably in anxiety. No, he's really not well. No. What's what?
What's that?
What's what?
What's that? What's the number the door is?
Number 11. Well, you know what number it is. Will you get away from her door now?
Mama.
Look. Yes, it's broken. This is the state of the way that, you know, and we're not allowed to do anything about it. You know, I'm not saying, even front doors, look, you know. You know, in the time that seriously, these things keep happening every time I change my phone. So, and no, I'm not promoting LGBT. Tilt your head to one side.
It's broke, see? Come here.
Elijah, do you want to play for a minute on my live? Look. Elijah, look. Get your finger out your nose. Get your finger out your nose. Look.
Oh, my brain's falling now.
My brain's falling now.
Look. Look at the colors. Look at the colors. Look at the colors.
Right, anyway, guys, I'm going to shoot off. I don't know how to turn this off. Whoa, you're giving me a headache now, dude. Hang on, let me turn this off then. Yes. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Right, anyway, guys, I need to go and settle my kids for their after-lunch sleep. So they're going to have milk and knitting. And I'm going to make my living room very dark and shut out the world of here. Hopefully they won't start the drilling as they do, and I've still got to pick up the bits in here, and obviously now I've got to take the high chairs down and sort their lunch, and the washing up that I'd already done. I have now got lunchtime washing up, and it's not like there's a dining room, is there? So I can just shut the rest of it out and it all goes in the dining room. And then hopefully while they're asleep, I'm going to have to sack the kitchen off because it's too much noise and come and do their bloody bedroom. I'll catch you later because there's something I want to go through with you guys later. I'll just quickly show you what my live today is going to be covering and why it is covering. It's actually in here. I've put it in my little office space already. And this is the reason why, because you all should be receiving these. So you will all be receiving basically how much you're going to pay a year to your local council. So for me, mine is £883.52%, which is an increase of 2% from last year to Portsmouth City Council. And then to adult social care, it's £84.75. To Hampshire Fire and Rescue, it is £46.04, which is an increase again of 2%. And then to the police and CC for Hampshire. What's CC? I've not seen that before. So I haven't seen this CC for Hampshire before. I'm assuming it's police and city council for Hampshire. So that's more money to the city council as well now. And that's £140.97, and that's gone up as an increase of 5%. So a total requirement for a total requirement for council tax bill. I'd love to contribute. I'd love to contribute to these people. I would love to make donations and invest and support, but rape and pillage me for it? Go fuck yourselves. So basically, on a council tax band A, it is £1,155.28 a year for me here to cover this tax. And basically they have put on here, so it's a total increase of 4%. So charges for the period of 1st of April 2020 to the 31st of March. I don't know why we don't do it January to January. Wouldn't it be so much better? Wouldn't it be so much better as a country to sort of go, hey, we've just had Christmas. We're going to get rid of all of the old shit. Everybody have a clear out, recycle, distribute it off to countries that need it more than us. Take out the old, bring in the new. Right, put all your financial year behind you, now enter a whole new year, start from January the 1st, right the way through to New Year. Wouldn't that just make common sense? This April to April fucks my head up, just as this getting paid on the 18th of the month. It has bills all over the place. It keeps me having to fucking just around. Why can't we just be simple? Why can't we just live simplicity? Why can't we be in simplicity? And why does everybody have to make it so complicated and so complex? However, so my final bill. Hey, what's
that poking out that leather box?
What's what? Sorry.
Poking off that leather box.
It's probably somebody's mail hanging out their letterbox, and that's actually wrong. It has to go all the way in. Have you pushed it in for them?
But I haven't pushed it in. My car. It's trapped me. So, open my phone. I closed it.
So thanks to council tax support, they have also given me a deduction of £924.22. So I only have to actually pay a bill of £231.00 thing. So I would rather now get to the end of my Christmas, my New Year, have all my money and go, there you go, there's your 200. I actually don't mind saying there's your £1,000, but I would like to actually pay it individually. I'd like to go down to my local police station and go, look, amazing job what you do. We do have people, but we need a better service within the prison structures. The police have got to do their job, but then we need a better structure within the prison system, because it isn't about trapping a child in locks, do you know what I mean, to tell them what to do. Excuse me, you now know I have to uphold that, mate. Just because I ain't watching, I wouldn't even go there. Sorry, my son's going to have a kick-off. It's tough. I don't care if I'm in a shop, mate. I set the rules. You have chosen not to listen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Stand strong, Mum. Stand strong. Stand strong, or they'll walk all over you. There you go. Did I or did I not say if you put it up in the windowsill again that I would take it off you and put it into the house? Yes, I did. Therefore, I have to carry out with my actions. Otherwise, children think you are liars and push the boundaries, and you end up with unruly kids that don't do as they're told. And it's not about doing as... Excuse me, Elijah, you bring that back here and put it there now.
No.
How dare you come and take that? Gotta go and deal with my kids, guys. Catch you later. Bye.